Paris, France is a huge city and has so much you can do. It can be a little overwhelming on what you might want to do and might not want to miss when you're there. So my husband and I lived there for 1 month, and these are the top 10 things that we would recommend for anyone not to miss when they go to Paris.
Starting off, of course, with the most recognizable structure in the world, the Eiffel Tower. Standing at 330 meters tall, or 1,083 feet tall for my Americans out there, it's the tallest structure in Paris. It is also the most visited monument in the world with an entrance fee. The entrance fee does depend on the options you pick to get to the top. To get to the top, you can either take the 600-step climb and then the elevator to the third floor, or just simply take the elevator all the way to the top. But once on the second level, the only way to the third is by elevator. The views from the first and second level alone are so worth it, you can see all of Paris. Second is another famous place in Paris you don't want to miss, the Louvre Museum. This massive museum is home to some of the most famous art pieces in Western art, pieces like the Mona Lisa and Venus de Milo. But there are also other super impressive pieces of art here too. With the Louvre being so big, you need to make a day out of it. We were only able to hit a fraction of it in an afternoon, but when I go back to Paris, I'm going back specifically for the Louvre. Third on the list is the Arc de Triomphe. The size alone is impressive enough. This structure was built in honor of all of the French people who fought in the French Revolution. All of the French victors and generals are inscribed in the inner and outer surfaces. The only safe way to cross the street to the middle is underground, but honestly, the best view of the structure is across the street watching the traffic operate. The fourth on the list can sometimes be a hit or miss for people, and that's the Catacombs of Paris. You have to descend a lot of steps to walk through tunnels to finally go look at bones that are respectfully laid. But you do learn a lot about Paris's history from this tour, like why the catacombs became a thing and why the bones are laid so nicely. You also learn things like most of Paris's limestone came from the excavation of the catacombs. So this tour is definitely worth it and a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Fifth on the list, we are back up on the streets of Paris at the Jardin du Luxembourg, and I hope I'm saying that right. On the weekends, you can find kids at the small pond where they can rent sailboats and watch them float, and these boats also share the pond with many ducks. There are also reclining chairs to sit in to relax and enjoy the scenery, but walking around this park, you will be surprised by the many beautiful sights. Sixth on this list is a nighttime river tour. A nighttime boat tour is a great way to see the city and understand the history of what you're actually looking at. Not to mention, seeing all the famous monuments of Paris at nighttime is just beautiful. The nighttime tour only takes about an hour and has an indoor and outdoor observation deck. The best part, though, is seeing the Eiffel Tower at nighttime and light up over the water. Seven, pay a visit to Little Tokyo. Little Tokyo has to be one of the most unique neighborhoods in Paris. It has tons of restaurants and shops with different Asian traditional items. This is a great place to grab delicious food, desserts, and teas. You can even find a customizable anime clothing shop here. Eighth on the list is an area in Paris called Montmartre. This area is situated on top of a hill, so you get a great view of Paris. And if you're lucky enough to go on the weekends, you'll catch it at its liveliest. There is an art market where there are artists doing their art there and others there to sell their pieces. A little pink cafe that became famous after an Emily in Paris show came out on Netflix is also there, and many just go for that. But there are also other things, like a dog park where you can watch dogs be goofballs, and right next to that dog park there is a beautiful cathedral that is a donation-based entry. And the front of the cathedral has the best view of the city. Ninth on the list is the Notre Dame. The Notre Dame is super popular for a couple of reasons: Disney and the tragic fire. In 2019, the cathedral caught on fire, so unfortunately, at the moment, you cannot go inside because it is still under restoration. But there are places here where you can take a seat and observe the outside. Also, across the street from the Notre Dame, there's a free exhibit showcasing the original construction, the fire that happened and the damages it caused, and how they are rebuilding it. 10th on the list is Musée d'Orsay, and again, I hope I'm saying this correct. This museum often gets overshadowed by the Louvre, but it still has many iconic art pieces here. A lot of Van Gogh's work is in this museum, and also you can get up really close to study it. And not to mention, the views in this museum are gorgeous. You will definitely want at least half a day to make your way through this museum. The bonus thing to do in Paris is go to Disneyland Paris. It's just outside of the city with a quick train ride. This can be a one-day thing, but make it a two-day thing and you really get the full experience. It is a smaller Disneyland than the one in the United States, but it is still just as magical. The best part is the pricing. It's not as expensive as the Disneyland in the United States, meaning you're able to eat and do more with your money going further. And at nighttime, they have an amazing light show and drone show you do not want to miss. Thank you so much for watching. All of the links to the museums and tours are in the description. And if you found this video helpful or want more advice on what to do when you go to a different city, hit the like and subscribe button.